Good day, Merc fam. Thank you for tuning into another episode. In today's video, we're gonna be speaking on a brand new movie that was released today of all days called Shang-Chi. I literally just left the theater. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that everybody likes, subscribes, go ahead, strangle that notification bell. Make sure that every time I post something, you guys are aware of it. You know what I'm saying? I actually took the time to go watch this movie first thing today to hit y'all with this fresh, funky review. But without further ado, let's jump into the Shang-Chi review, man. Now, I have been really anticipating the release of this movie. I don't really know too much about Shang-Chi personally. I'm gonna keep it honest with you, but it seems like Marvel's really trying to throw this guy up at the top so he could be maybe a next Avenger or someone that's gonna help in the next couple of movies. All I really know about this guy is that he is a master of Kung Fu. And in this movie, it really shows, all right? Awkwafina plays one of the best supporting roles that I've seen in a movie thus far. And don't get me started on how well they executed the character development and dynamic between everybody on screen. You know, once in a blue moon, a really good movie comes out and it blows everything out of the water. I couldn't even tell you what other movie was released today because nobody cares. Everybody was there to watch Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now let's talk about the movie, the premise if you will. By the time we're introduced to the main character, we're under the assumption that he's this rich kid, he's this rich spoiled boy, but we actually find out that he's a chauffeur. And what I noticed is that even though the trailer showed you a lot of what I'm telling you right now, the way that the movie played it out was way different, you know? So it wasn't like I was totally spoiled by what I saw in these extensive ass trailers that Marvel's been releasing lately. I'm gonna give you guys a very light spoiler warning, all right? I'm absolutely not gonna ruin every single bit and piece of this movie, but I am gonna tell you a little bit more, you know, just the premise of it. And like I said, you already seen most of this in the trailer. I'm just really gonna talk about how I felt about how it was executed. One of the main driving forces that made me love this movie was the relationship between Shang-Chi and his friend Katie. They've been friends since high school and it is absolutely platonic. They really have a cute, honest, and open relationship and it really shows on screen. Even though Shang-Chi is very quiet, he's a little stoic, right? He has a real serious face and he's tall as hell. He still shows a connection with Awkwafina's character, Katie. I love how the movie had its dips and turns and everyone that they introduced on screen had character growth. They did a really good job of grooming the audience to love everybody's character. So at a certain point, we're looking at the villain and you almost feel bad for him just as much as you might feel bad for Shang-Chi. You know what I mean? I love the way that they spun that in this. The relationship with Shang-Chi and his father, the relationship with Shang-Chi and his sister, the mother, it really all had a grand payoff at the end. I love the action. The Kung Fu was immaculate. When you guys watch this movie and you hear the opening song, it really reminded me of Rush Hour. Those high strum strings really catch your ear. I love that shit, man. It really pulled it all together. You cannot have a great movie without an awesome soundtrack. The way that they talk about the Snap and Thanos and other superheroes in this movie is very realistic, and that's something that I really enjoyed about this. You know, they're doing Kung Fu, they're fighting on this bus, and that scene alone was absolutely epic. The way that he controlled every maneuver and every step of the way of that fight was absolutely awesome. Immaculate fighting, bro. Like, honestly, it's almost like he knew where everything was gonna be, and it was just choreographed excellently. I don't think that this movie would have been as awesome as it was without Awkwafina's character, man. She's been growing on me as an actress these past couple of years. You know, I've never really seen her in movies, but from Raya and the Last Dragon to seeing her in this now, I'm really happy for her, and I'm really proud to see her really be herself and come through in this awesome Marvel movie. That scene where Wong fights Abomination was absolutely nuts. It didn't end how I thought it was at all, man. It was so awesome. Not to joke around with you guys, I probably spent 75% of the movie teary-eyed because that's how sentimental it was. I felt the value. You know that Asians are so cultural. The way that this movie represented their culture paid off immensely, man. I loved it. There are a couple scenes in the movie where it's a lot of CGI and it's hard for you to divulge what is going on screen, but you kind of just go with the flow. You let it be what it is. When you guys see the movie, you're gonna know which scene I'm talking about. You're gonna be like, okay, this is what Merc was saying. It's a little crazy, but you know, the CGI was on point. It was just a little hard to get on board because the movie's set in a realm so realistic. You know what I'm saying? They're doing Kung Fu. They're really fighting on buildings on the side of the road. Like, they're doing really really crazy shit, but you know, all of a sudden it's real heavy CGI, and it was just kind of a hard moment to, you know what I mean, kind of separate, but I liked it, you know what I mean? At the end, the fact that it all came together in such a great way is the reason I'm gonna give Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings a 10 out of 10, baby. I really love this movie. I recommend it for all of you. I think that this is gonna be a really good point in Marvel, in the Avengers, and everything to really get you enthralled in what's going on, man. Shang-Chi is someone that you could really hop along with and be behind. He has this very honest and open and trustworthy feeling about him. His character is someone we're definitely gonna see in further Marvel movies, man. I'm not gonna talk to you guys about the post-credit scenes per se, but make sure you stay after the last credit. You know what I'm saying? There are 2 post-credit scenes at the end of this movie, so make sure you stick through the whole thing and don't miss it. But what did you guys think of this review? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Did you love it? I absolutely love this movie, and I recommend it to all of you to watch at some point this weekend. Go put your money in Marvel's pockets and enjoy this film. But you already know what it is, man. It's been a pleasure. It's your boy Merc, but I'm out.
I take the wheel, it's going out of control. I ain't got a flex, but my money swole. I'm flying real life, nigga, not just pose. Hands down, I'm the man now. You better do your research before I air it out. I'm smoking on reefer and it's very loud.